My name is Professor Rottweiler. I'm not actually a professor, but I would prefer that you called me one throughout this series. It makes me feel better. So my name is Professor Rottweiler. I'll be your guide through this summer math adventure. Alright, so today we're not actually going to be learning any math. Instead, we'll be learning to fish, metaphorically speaking, of course. Today, instead of learning math, we're going to learn how to work your way through this program. I hope you're ready to begin. Of course, I've gone through this in class 3 to 5 times already, but most of you were either sleeping or went to the bathroom halfway through or skipping class, so I thought I'd do it again online. Alright, so when you open up your math binders, you will have a paper. You will have a series of papers that look something like this. This is the front. If you turn it over, this is the back. Now I've recreated this for you on the whiteboard, much larger scale, to demonstrate how to use this program. Okay, so here is the front of your paper. This happens to be puzzle number 1. It could be any of a series of perhaps 100 puzzles, but for today, we'll talk about puzzle number 1. Alright, the first thing you should do when you see this is read the question. This one, for instance, says, if the sum of consecutive integers from negative 18 to n, inclusive, is 60, what is the value of n? Now, you may be thinking, I have no idea what that's talking about. It sounds like gibberish to me. And, of course, it is supposed to, because these are all designed to be a little bit too difficult for you. So the first thing that you should do is read the problem again. Well, that's my assistant, Professor Rottweiler Jr. He seems to be off duty right now. Alright, so read the question again. The first thing I want you to do is ask questions about it. You might find some vocabulary that you aren't familiar with. For instance, consecutive. What does consecutive mean? You would write that question on the side over here where these lines are. You might also be wondering, what does sum mean? If you don't know what sum means, write that question down. What does sum mean? Or inclusive. Maybe you are unsure about the word inclusive. Write it down on the side. Okay, after you have read that problem a couple times and asked questions about it, you may either go on to try to work it out on scratch paper. Don't write on the front of the sheet. Or, if you're still too confused, turn the sheet over. At this point, you will turn the sheet over from the front to the back. And on the back, you will see that there is a spot for correct answers and a place where I have written out the steps for the problem and an explanation of them. The back of the sheet looks something like this. Alright, so for this particular problem, the correct answer is 21. I've written the method, the 2 steps that you need to go through to solve this problem, and the description of how to solve it right next to them. At this point, after you've looked through the steps, read the description, you'll want to go back to your scratch paper and try to work the problem out on your own. Once you do that, turn the sheet back over to the front. That's upside down, to the front, where you will see a section called Attempts, Self-Evaluation. This might be the most important part of the program. Here's why. There's no point in learning math if you can't remember it. So what you want to do is, after you've done your attempts, record them. And I want you to try to do 6 to 8 attempts for each of these problems. Each time, the idea is that you'll get a little bit better at it. So on this first attempt, it was, let's say you did it on June 10th, right? June 10th right here. And write some kind of message. You like those things, assistant? What are you talking about?
I like the numbers. I like the thing on the back.
Oh, are you learning math too?
Yeah.
Okay, let me finish up. So June 10th, you would write the date that you did the problem and some kind of note for how you did. Maybe it's a smiley face. Maybe you write a little note. There's also a little grid down here that you can use. It's like 1 through 5, grading your attempts. Okay, so after you've done that, after you've tried all those steps, if you are still confused, there's 2 more steps. Two more steps. You've gone through all those steps, you're still confused, you're frustrated with the problem. Here's what you do. The first thing you do is go to www.summermathpuzzle.com bluegupuzzles.blogspot.com and click on the video that goes along with each problem. There I will walk you through each of the steps and teach you how to do it. If you're still confused after that, after you've watched it a couple times and tried really hard, you can call your amazing professor on the phone and say, hey, I'm still confused, I need some help. As long as it's not 2 or 3 in the morning, I'll walk you through the problems this summer and help you learn them. Blue Guy, I want you to be real clear here that you should not call me at 2 or 3 in the morning to ask me about math. If you do, you'll probably get gibberish. Okay, that's all for now. That's our first video of the year. There'll probably be about 80 more. Good luck, good math, have a good summer.